It's like, I'm going to own my part in this, and I'm going to recognize her part in that. She could take ownership of this. And look, it wasn't right. This didn't work. End of story. And so with sovereignty and with strength, you can end it in your mind, in your soul, and the energetic connection. Cut that cord and move on to not only allow yourself a chance at a greater and better relationship, a chance at sacred union, which we talked about a lot, which everybody wants. Most people don't even know they want it, but that, yeah, or what it looks like. But also to allow that woman, that other person, an opportunity, because if there's still these energetic spider webs tangling you two together, she can't move on, you can't move on. Cut it out. Literally cut it out. I can relate to that hanging on, because I ran that pattern for so long that any relationship that ends, somehow it's my fault. And if you're holding that energy, then there's the desire to hold on, or maybe I can just fix it, or maybe I did something wrong. And this loop will keep playing over and over again. I related in my youth, when I was very young and ridiculously codependent, I got into a relationship with a woman who was clinically diagnosed psychotic, bipolar, manic depressive, and she was a meth dealer. This was a train wreck from the start, but when that ended, it was somehow my fault. I blame myself. I figured I should have done more to fix it. What a disastrous mindset, So
the other side of that, by the way, is those that point the finger and blame the other in the relationship with no responsibility.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
it's all their fault.
They're the victims, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of that. We talk about stage 2 of the polarity of this good, bad, right, wrong, and pointing the finger and avoiding and abdicating any kind of ownership or responsibility. So it goes both ways, just to make sure we weave both of those things in there.
And you just said the word ownership. It's like, I'm going to own my part in this, and I'm going to recognize her part in that. She could take ownership of this. And look, it wasn't right. This didn't work. End of story. And so with sovereignty and with strength, you can end it in your mind, in your soul, and the energetic connection. Cut that cord and move on to not only allow yourself a chance at a greater and better relationship, a chance at sacred union, which we talked about a lot, which everybody wants. Most people don't even know they want it, but that,
what it looks like.
Yeah, or what it looks like. But also to allow that woman, that other person, an opportunity, because if there's still these energetic spider webs tangling you two together, she can't move on, you can't move on. Cut it out. Literally cut it out.
Right. You got to cut the cords.
And with that man that you're referencing, the recognition, as I asked him on the weekend, I said, which is sweeter, sugar or high fructose corn syrup? High fructose corn syrup, ridiculously sweeter, but it's toxic. Sugar is actually, in the right amounts, in the right form, healthy for you. It is a nutrient, right? So the reason I said that is this woman that you were with was high fructose corn syrup. She wasn't capable of sacred union. She wasn't capable of the type of relationship that you wanted, but she got you so sickly sweet that you're still spun out about it.
Right.
And recognizing that by cutting the cord, you are allowing yourself a chance for sacred union. It was a huge awakening for him.
Absolutely. I want to thread on this sacred union piece, because not only was this hugely impactful and powerful, it's, I don't think, a phrase that our listeners maybe even are used to hearing. And we talked about just before, seeing relationship, how it's really modeled. So, my wife, Nanilea, came into our container among many skill sets, and we worked with the men physically at these networking trainings, but we talked about sacred union and in a beautiful way, use our relationship as an example, just to see like how we go about seeing each other. And it was very eye-opening for a lot of the men. It was humorous as well, and we all laughed at ourselves in a lot of ways of the dynamic. But most of us out there are either in some kind of long-term committed relationship, want to be in some kind of long-term committed relationship, or just have challenges in that relationship because that it's the right person, but there's things that could be better, and
Mhm.
how to go about seeing each other anew, how to go about championing each other's mission and vision, and having a higher set of values that we come together on and live by and committed to. I think a lot of that does get lost in translation in relationship, and there's a lot of things that are just sort of pedestrian you got to do, but we forget what the deeper meaning of coming together is in this way.
Yeah.
Just as this was the king immersion, right? We need the king and the queen to come together because they really preside over the kingdom.
Right. And I loved your vulnerability and transparency saying, guys, I'm patient zero. like I
Right.
did not have any of this shit figured out. In fact, this has been a work in progress to get to that stage. And I think it's important for men to know this. Like, neither of us are coming from some guru stance. It's not, we are a work in progress, and relationships, men, are always a work in progress. Always.
You're either green and growing or ripe and rotten.
Yeah. It's never one. It's never one and done. It's never over. The work must always continue. Which is, by the way, not just in creating that sacred union, but I think so many people, they get married and they're like, all right, I'm married now, I can quit trying. No.
Right.
No.
It's the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah. Right. You don't quit trying. You don't quit trying to be attractive to your mate. You don't quit trying to develop romance. You don't quit trying to court them. That's what keeps the relationship alive and fresh. And, when you just stop and take it for granted, it's rotten and it's dying.
Which is why our divorce rate is over 50%. I think in California, it's over 70, something like that. You guys lead the way in a lot of things.
None of them good. None of them good.
Used to be.
And by the way, let's just clarify here, mister, that I am a Texan who moved to California, moved to Los Angeles. Now, everybody right now is going, why the hell would you do that? It was 2007. It was 2007. It was different, right? And you were a California, where you're originally a New Yorker, but you'd been living in California and you moved to Texas.
Yeah.
So, and I love now that you're there, you're like, ooh, gross, a California license plate. What a loser.